Hello and welcome to second episode, not that it matters, of Stanton Gossip, which is the new short one that MasoKast and me, JustCheg, are doing. Used to be part of Straight Outta Stanton podcast, but then we decided to make that one shorter. Did not really work out.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
and make a special one for the Stanton Gossip. So this is the half an hour ish podcast about what happened around YouTube and other media when it comes to Star Citizen. We watch and listen to a lot of content, and these are just some of the content creations that we thought you should see or hear, for better or worse. Hello,
Totally.
Maso.
And hey, I was going to say, if you are watching this or listening to this and you have other stuff that you have seen we didn't mention here, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we will take a look at them because, as we pointed out, we watch and consume a lot of Star Citizen content and always appreciate more.
Very true. Okay, so we're gonna start today with. Actually, I want to let you start with Montoya's Kotaku article.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock in the Star Citizen community, here's the short of it. Kotaku published an article talking about how CIG was forcing their developers in Texas to work through the disastrous kind of snowstorm down there, and if they didn't want to work, they had to use vacation time or something like that.
Something along the lines of that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it was scary for a moment because we had this happening with some other studios in the last year. And I was like, oh, please no, please no, please no.
Yeah, totally. Because, like, Star Citizen or CIG is a big company now, right? Like 600 plus people, like clearly they've got HR. And I was kind of like, honestly, I didn't even click on the article because I was just like, you know what? Yeah. Plus, I got nothing against Kotaku necessarily, but, well, I don't know. Like I've read some of their articles that I've enjoyed, but like this one just it feels like one of the like Star Citizen hit pieces of like way back in the day, like in the what's that guy's name? I don't know. The guy who like hates Star Citizen. I don't even remember his name anymore. Wow,
I don't even know, but I know that PC Gamer and Kotaku are, Star Citizen is their punching bag. One of the
which is weird because sometimes they write PC. Sometimes I've seen like PC Gamer articles that have been like almost positive
within the last year and a half,
maybe. Yeah.
I don't
I'd
remember
have to go digging for them. I'm just gonna say like not like overtly negative.
Okay.
But this one, yeah. So anyways, I didn't click on it because I was just like, I'm just gonna. I also like at the same time saw posts from like Tyler Witkin and people who actually work in the Texas
offices. Xylo, basically I use Twitter a lot, so I saw the Kotaku article on Twitter by someone, and then a little bit later I saw Tyler reply to this in such a good manner as well.
Yeah, totally.
Like I was amazed. Like this guy's so good at what he does. He's like, well, I don't know. I'd like to know if this is the truth because I work in that office and my personal experience is not like that.
Totally, yeah. And at that point, I was just kind of like, okay, I see what this is. Anyways, so Montoya likes to address these sorts of articles in his videos, and usually he very neatly kind of takes them apart, kind of line by line, and does like little kind of takedown videos of them, which is kind of nice because usually he's pretty on point with them and kind of confronts everything with facts and a little bit of rhetoric, but not too much.
Memes.
And a few memes, yeah. This one, he definitely was. It was a long and rambly video. It was about 17 minutes. Still worth watching, but he definitely brought up some really interesting points in there that I thought were interesting. First and foremost being that CIG is pretty unique in the gaming industry insofar as it has a history of people who are supposedly anonymous sources going to the media and saying things that have been just proven to be outright false. Up to the point where somebody actually faked a Glassdoor write up about Star Citizen from one of their primary physics programmers.
Oh my god.
And if you don't know what Glassdoor is a website where basically employees can go on and post kind of their experiences about working for a company. So, anyways, in this case, so John Pritchett was the guy who came up with IFCS. If you play Star Citizen, you know what IFCS is: Intelligent Flight Control Systems. It is basically the system that makes your ship fly. So that guy. And basically, when he was finished, he decided to move on to some other stuff. He didn't want to move to either LA or Texas to continue working there, so they parted ways. And somebody went on Glassdoor and faked very well.
Yeah.
A write-up by John Pritchett.
I know about this. Yeah.
And
this
like,
was way
to the point where,
beyond like before my time, actually. But
sure,
yeah,
but like, so that is the extent that some people have gone to discredit Star Citizen.
The reality of content creation nowadays and how content creators can make more money, unfortunately, is just in the sad state.
Right. Though I guess what Montoya's point was here is that people have beef with CIG and
they
like
make a lot of money, right?
Are going to the point where they are like literally faking. No, I don't even think this is a content creator or whatever who wrote this article by John Pritchett, or this write up from John Pritchett.
No, I think that's probably some other studios. Like, these motherfuckers are making so much money, so let's bash them or whatever. There's some jealousy.
I think it's probably more likely one of Derek Smart's cronies. But anyways, he's a guy who had he's another like a boomer game developer from way back in the day who hates Chris Roberts. And yeah, like for the longest time he was the guy who was like running the like, there's no way Star Citizen is going to come out 90 days tops. That's where the 90 days tops meme came from, by the way. But anyways, so that's kind of Montoya's point here, is like people have it out for CIG and Star Citizen to the point where they will go and fake Glassdoor write-ups and stuff like that. Somebody thankfully pointed it out to John Pritchett, and John Pritchett went on there and said, I didn't write this.
Crazy.
But yeah, so what he's saying is that this kind of sounds like he thinks that the writer for Kotaku got duped, and that these 6 anonymous sources are not actually CIG employees. And while normally I would say that's kind of tinfoil hatty, this isn't the first time with this CIG, kind of stuff has happened. So
it's so funny.
Anyways,
9 out of 10, like, bashers have never probably even played Star Citizen.
Sure, and like all this to say, like obviously CIG is not completely the best thing since sliced bread, and like everybody makes mistakes and stuff like that, and it's possible that this was a miscommunication or something like that too, insofar as like some middle manager or whatever.
Man. It scared me for a moment, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
some middle management could have said, well, I don't know, I guess you have to use vacation time without like missing a memo or something like that. But he also kind of goes into how, from firsthand accounts from employees and stuff like that, it doesn't really seem like a CIG thing to do, because CIG has been historically, very like putting their employees first and stuff like that.
I mean, we see these guys in ISC and SCL, and they really, regardless of if we agree with development or not, like they look like people who are very proud about what they're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like.
And on top of that, like it's not like they're locked behind a wall, right? Like so many other content creators that we interact with, are friends with CIG developers.
That's true.
So
that was another thing. Like Paul, for example, said, well, I know people who used to be content creators now work for for CAG there, because Paul is from Texas as well, and he's like that.
Yeah.
They just straight up. I asked them, they just straight up said no. Not true.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's a small community. I don't know, like, but the fact is, I think Kotaku and other big, however we call these things nowadays, they are gaining clicks probably from people who have nothing to do with Star Citizen.
Totally. They're going for the rage clicks.
Yeah.
But
and then most of the people who have anything to do with Star Citizen will be like, it's bullshit, but at the same time, that in reality, these numbers are, there's a big difference in them.
This article though was different. This was and this is something that Montoya says in his video as well. Like
they should sue
this was
them
a lot more of a personal attack.
They should definitely sue them for this.
Their response was really wishy-washy, actually. It wasn't very good, CIG's response to this article.
Maybe they're also like, Kotaku. Our community doesn't care anyways.
Like most of the time when you see Kotaku or Massively OP or somebody roll out like a Star Citizen hate click article, they are basically, like it's the same tired old shit.
Yeah.
They've made this much money, the game is still buggy, it's never going to be finished.
Obviously 3 days later PC Gamer had
jumped on board too.
Absolutely.
A bunch of
someone in Kotaku said, like, oh my god.
Well, this is what always happens though. Like somebody publishes an article and all the other articles cite the other article because it gets hate clicks.
But, and none of that is true. No one is even fucking checking their facts or anything.
I mean, that's the thing, like most of them are like that's what I'm saying, right? Like this article was different. Most of the articles roll out tired old stuff, like old pieces of information from like fucking 6 years ago, But this one was different. This one was like directly,
it's a big accusation, honestly. Like
it's a big accusation.
Look at what happened with Blizzard when like just don't want this, and then it's a crowdfunding project. So people who are crowdfunding it, like you don't want to crowdfund something like that.
Well, and it's weird, right? Like, and that's why like Montoya's thrust here is that he thinks the author here got duped and that these anonymous sources he was hearing from weren't actually CIG employees, because it is a big accusation and one that so far like everybody who works in CIG Texas has said it's not true. Like nobody told me that. The opposite actually. In fact, most of them were told like, clock in as if you were working and then just do what you need to do to, survive and keep your house safe, keep your family safe. So so this article was something different for sure. This was something I haven't seen before in the hate click. But if you want to see a rambly video about it, I'd say check out this Montoya video. It was I think a pretty good. He goes through it line by line and kind of addresses things. So yeah,
detailed. All right,
detailed, rambly but detailed.
The next one, we did a segment on Caterpillar recently in our Straight as Stanton, and you guys know by now that I'm not a fan of Drake, but Caterpillar is one of the best ships in the game in my opinion, for so many reasons. It's just a cool ship, cool concept, looks good, sexy,
feels
cat.
Good. Yeah. Looks good inside, like nice, cool, industrial. Yeah.
Inforunners. A lot of potential. Inforunners did a fairly long episode about it. I think it's like almost 40 minutes. And it was it was Execute and oh my god,
Algarad.
Yeah. Only two of them, and to be fair, Algarad's points were pretty good in my opinion, but Execute in my opinion, I was yelling at the screen the whole time. I'm not gonna lie. He missed so many points. In my opinion, both of us could be wrong, obviously, but I think, holy moly, like I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what is this? So I think the video is worth a watch. They bring up some really old stuff that I didn't know about.
Really old stuff.
Yeah, and
like
these
they
are
go
like
back to the drawing board with this thing.
And I had no clue, but that's kind of cool to know, even if it. And they're very cautious with this. Like they're like, you know what, this was long ago. it might not come into the game and whatnot. But I'm not gonna spoil. I want you guys to like if you want to watch it, you should. So especially for newer backers, if you like Drake, if you like Caterpillar, definitely worth to watch. But here's some of the things that I was really, for lack of the better word, pissed off with, where they compared the bridge module to Herald, which to me is ridiculous. Where they're like, it's just a better version of Herald. For those who don't know, that's like the detachable ship, small ship, and there's just a better version than Herald, where the only difference is Herald doesn't have the detachable cat module doesn't have data running capabilities, which is the only thing that Herald does. So which is mind blowing to me. And then also it's so much smaller. Like Herald is so much smaller. This is the detachable part is like a four crew member ship with the
two levels.
With kitchen, See, 4 beds.
I was saying before the show that for me, when I listened to that, I thought they were just talking to the shape of it, because it's like roughly Herald shaped.
Herald is so fucking ugly, and this thing is actually looking sexy, man. Like I'm not gonna lie.
See, it didn't make me as angry the first time I listened to it, because like in my head it was like, okay, Caterpillar, Caterpillar bridge, bigger version of Herald. I can kind of see the part about the data stuff. Okay, whatever. That's way off, but
I just can't compare these two things. It's like crazy.
I just sat down. I literally have 2 tabs up here, one with the Caterpillar and one with the Herald. And like now that I'm sitting down and looking at them both, they don't look anything alike.
Man, I did a video on Herald some time ago because of it. It reminds me of something in real life that I did. I was working on a movie set where I had to basically make a Russian spy van, which is literally what Herald is, right? And I like turned the whole van into that, and that's why so I know quite a bit about Herald, but I don't know. The other thing is like executes. I know it's kind of rough to quote people on these things, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go out there and make an assertion, it is prepare to be fact checked.
Well, that's the thing. Basically. Prepare yourself before you're like going and like I don't know.
Well, no, but basically what I'm saying is it's not rough.
I know.
If
I know
say
what you're
something
saying.
That is verifiably false.
I just wish they prepared it better. I guess I don't know. So he said that it's the last asymmetric ship that was made by CIG. Where I was like, what? And then Algarit said it's the first as well, so he like confirmed it, and I'm like,
okay. First, I said this. First was the Vanduul Scythe. That's in the 2012, the 2012 trailer. So that was the first asymmetric ship.
And the last one, I mean, MSR just came out, and it's a very popular ship, and it's very asymmetric.
You know what's even more asymmetric? The Corsair.
Well, Corsair's not out. Okay.
No.
But we know it's going to be super asymmetric for sure.
Yeah, because that's part of the design.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that's about, because that's just false.
And then just some crazy stuff that Inforunners do a lot, which I never understood. That's their thing, where some like the reasoning that a Caterpillar should not have a medical bay because Apollo exists. But they never mentioned Cutty Red as well, which is kind of crazy. And like stuff like that. Like, would the community really like the Caterpillar module to take the middle-sized ship spot? And it's like we can only have one medical ship. And like, I just talked to Maso before. I'm like, how many small fighters do we have, or medium fighters, as a matter of fact? Like, should we have only Gladius or an Arrow? You know what I mean? Like, it's
the ship tiers in this, like it's not linear in Star Citizen at all. It's not like like you start with the Cutty Red and then you go to the Apollo and then you go to the Endeavor. Like it's different ships for different jobs, right? Like
exactly.
It's not a linear progression. You can have other ships with medical bays in them, and
you're allowed to have a ship because you like the feel, the look of it.
Exactly. In fact, I want there to be. Exactly. That's it right there. Like, I want there to be as much variety out there as possible, because I want to be able to kind of fly the ship that appeals to me and also be able to do the role. And I get like, okay, there's going to be some situations where that just doesn't fit with the brand,
of course,
but that's fine. Like at any rate, I think it's, if they do caterpillar modularity, I think they absolutely can do medical bays, and probably will do medical bays, because it has no bearing on whether or not the Apollo is,
they already have a small medical bay in their own Cutlass Red, so of course they're going to have a medical one. It's a small one, right?
From that perspective, this is where it goes into medical gameplay a bit. Like the Cutlass Red is limited to the most basic medical.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, at least Caterpillar can have that, which is then a good dropship, or like whatnot.
Oh, yeah. There's no reason.
Anyways, even though I get pissed off and yell at the screen and didn't like how Execute said things, it's a worthy watch for sure.
There is some interesting stuff in there that they bring up from like way long ago. Like, for example, you remember how when we were theory crafting about the cat, we were like, like you asked about a docking collar module, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, is that, and then of course, like one of the things that they mentioned in this video, it's right in the brochure of the Caterpillar. Like, there's the docking collar module.
4 docking collars were like
Caterpillar, or 4 constellations
dock and whatnot, which they argue is not going to be a thing, because docking stations, I'm like, what if you're in fucking God knows which system?
Okay.
Let's not that shit anymore.
Yeah, that is something that did jump out to me, because like when I watched this video first, like I was expecting them to like rip it apart just from the title of the video.
They liked
overall they were like, they're really positive about the cat, but yeah, like,
well, they were actually negative if you think about it, because they're like, this ship is too good and it like basically should not be as good, but they do like the ship. They value the ship. It is too good.
I think there's some merit to that, like, especially with the way it flies right now, man. Like, that thing flies pretty much. Yeah, but like we know that
doesn't matter. Like, let's wait until we actually have a flight model, because it's a brick. Come on.
Yeah.
With 1 wing. So yeah. All right. You go with the next one. This is something I love when Paul does it. So.
Yeah, so Paul from the Astropub literally like a couple hours ago released this lore video about an organization in Star Citizen called the Rust Society. And it's about a 10-minute long video. This one, absolutely watch. In fact, watch all of Paul's lore videos. They're great.
I agree.
By far my favorite way to consume lore in this game.
He's very calm, and he explains it slowly through like a really nice storytelling. Like, these are amazing. Like, this is the best thing he does, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. This is like his top notch.
I mean, he's running for that historian, like NPC or something, which I would give him 100%. Like, he deserves that, for sure.
But anyway, so the Rust Society is a like started as a group of like kind of independent haulers and cargo runners and stuff like that, space truckers basically, who like basically started in a bar, basically just swapping tips with like younger people who are still trying to come up in the world, like trying to help independent haulers get started and stuff like that, and developed into something where it was like almost a philanthropic kind of an organization, or like like they did a lot of almost charity work, because they were deliberately taking like cargo runs and stuff like that out to the fringes of space where they were needed and where it wasn't profitable enough for big corporations to go. So they're like pretty anti-corporation and overall kind of like anti-government. But anyways, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but like 10-minute video, super cool. I just watched it before the show and it was awesome.
I think this is my second favorite thing, because Twitter takes it away this time.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so the next one, and basically the last YouTube stuff that we're going to talk about, like Salty Mike did. Well, actually, I don't think we want to go into ATC. The ATC was about ground vehicles. We can touch on it, but like, some good points for sure. Especially Meyer shows up at the end, and Meyer was really good at explaining things. But
yeah. I need too much time. I need too much time to go into this one.
Yeah, it's as always, it's a good one. I don't know, like ground vehicles. I have my own takes on this, but yeah.
So the title is ground vehicles have no purpose, and
yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree with it too.
We can talk about this in Straight Outta Stanton next week, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. For sure.
We touched on it a little bit already in several episodes, but we can again do it because I definitely disagree. However, there are some good points. And Mike is well known and open about his clickbaity names anyways, so it doesn't really mean that's what it is, but yeah.
Sure. And also, speaking of Week in Review, or speaking of Mike, he did a Week in Review.
Yeah.
Watch that, because it's always good if you want to stay current. The one thing that jumped out to me, and I'll just say this really quick, was he says that Mike says the constant updates on homesteads are starting to make them feel less exciting, and I pretty much agree with that, actually. But yeah.
Did you see the female model standing in front of the...
No.
Damn,
no, I didn't.
Bro, I'm gonna send you a screenshot after this. Anyways, I don't know. I'm liking seeing these things. I don't know what to say. They excite me a little bit. Yeah, it's cool,
but it's like we know that it's gonna be an NPC thing, and like it's like every week.
Okay, yeah, it's like that's a little bit. You don't see that much of a difference.
Oh, totally. It's like you could have teased us the first like 1, maybe 2 times, and then just leave it alone and just like let it be a surprise when you get into the game.
I think first of all, they either don't have things to show, or Invictus is coming, Alien Vic is coming. Maybe they have things that they don't want to show now, so they're just like throwing.
Maybe something, I don't know.
Low key.
Anyways, I agree with Mike on this one. Like I'm just like, it's like, okay, they're cool, but like I see this every week, so
fair point. Okay, so before we leave, I'm gonna have a link in the description. You should definitely follow these guys already. So we're talking about Tyler and Mr. Discolando for community doers for Star Citizen, and Tyler did a video where he plays Piccolo, right? Is that how you call it?
Yeah, the tweet specifically said, like, has anybody else picked up any weird hobbies over the pandemic or whatever?
And he plays a song on a Piccolo, which he does exceptionally well, by the way.
Really well, yeah.
Which of course sparked a bunch of reaction and uploads and even food porn and whatnot. But then Jared Discolando replied to him with the harmonica, and you just need to. So both clips are like under a minute, and it's just pure hilarious content. These two guys are just golden. We're so.
I'm still laughing. Like,
so good, man.
Cheg showed it to me before we started recording, and I literally was just like laughing uncontrollably, and I'm still just thinking about it. And just
it's so good, man.
It just makes me crack up.
They are golden. All right, sign us out. We're done.
Oh crap! I still didn't come up with an outro for this. But yeah, if you like this, please throw us a like. This is kind of something new. It's not our regular weekly podcast, and we're still just trying to get a little bit of traction with it. Subscribe if you want stupidly long podcasts, and then these little gossip sessions in the middle part of the week. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yep. Have a great rest of your week, and see you all Sunday/Monday in Straight Outta Stanton. Take care. Bye.
Bye.